Hi, welcome back. I'm Bob Weber. I'm an ed strategist with the Grand Prairie ISD. And again, my specialties are Algebra 1 and geometry. If you're viewing this video, we probably are moving on to Unit 3.4b, which again continues our efforts with linear functions. If you remember, we split Unit 3 and 4 up because of the timeline that it falls in as far as quarter one, and also because of the content. So here we go. Let's dive into sharing your screen and have you take a look at Unit 3.4b. Hopefully this looks familiar to you, which is the Canvas course page, our page of all of our slide links and video links. And I'm going to pull up the slides for 3.4b. Investigation and application of linear functions and inequalities. So again, continuing our work that we have been doing with linear functions, and in this case, inequalities as well. This is a big unit, big from the standpoint that there's a lot of supporting standards. So TEKS covered, you can see it here. Only one readiness standard. It is not an essential readiness, but it's still important in its own right, which is graphing linear inequalities on the coordinate plane. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 supporting standards that go along with this. So a lengthy unit in the standpoint of a lot of different TEKS being covered, important for that. Unpacking the TEKS, you can see the instructional documents that we use, the instructional focus document, and the enhanced TEK clarification, both coming from TRS. 3D, graphing the solution of linear inequalities in two variables. The knowledge there, solution set, linear inequalities, variables in the coordinate plane. The skill being able to graph the line that represents a linear portion of the inequality, whether that line is dashed or solid, and then being able to determine, do we shade above or below that line, depending upon the inequality of greater than, equal to, or less than equal to. So that's 3D, the readiness standard. A little bit more information. This has been most recently tested in 2023. Of course, I will add 2024 on here. It's been heavily tested, basically 2 times per year for the last 6 years. You can see a second problem here. It also features a little different TEKS STAR 2.0 testing style with the graphing of the solution. 2D, write and solve equations involving direct variation. This can definitely has a relationship with 7th grade, which we do a lot of there. So you can see the conceptually understanding the equations, direct variation, y equal kx. Some of you teach this as a proportion as well. A little bit additional information, most recent problem from 2022. You can see that. Whoops. Not sure how I got where I got. There we go. Okay, 2E, supporting standard, write the equation of a line that is through a given point and parallel to a given line. So using parallel slopes, knowing that slopes are equal if they are parallel lines. I mentioned in one of our other units, point slope formula can be your friend here because you've got a slope and a point, and then it's just simplifying the algebra. A little additional information, mostly recently tested, 2023. A2F, oops, we missed one. Well, looks like I need to add a slide there. I'll go back and do that. No, I guess it's just in a different color. A2F, writing the equation of a line that contains a point that is perpendicular to a given line. So opposite reciprocal slopes, opposite sign reciprocal slopes, and some additional information. 2F, oh, I just see they're just out of whack as far as the numbering. Okay, I will adjust that. But you can see 2F, which goes along with our previous T2E as well. Most recent example from 2019. I'm going to guess there might be something more relevant than that, maybe in the 2024 version. 2G, write the equation of a line lone parallel or perpendicular to the X or Y axis, lying parallel or perpendicular. So there's another correction I have to make. And you can see the skills involved there. I'm going to go a little quicker through these just because there are so many supporting teaks here. 2G example. 2H, right linear inequalities in two variables. 3E, determine the effects. These are your transformations, which are really important that you're able to work with. Maybe not as much with the linear, but huge when you get into the quadratics, of course. I guess that's debatable. Example problem 4A, calculate using technology the correlation coefficient. This is doing your regression. So if you're not familiar or strong with this, give me a call and I'll come out and lend you a hand. 4A example. 4B, compare and contrast association and causation. This is an interesting one because Marty and I always have a discussion about what exactly is. To me, causation basically is that. Does it cause the other thing to occur? And that's a question I always ask the kids when I teach it. Association, yes, there's a relationship, but causation, one has to directly cause the other. Example there. 4C, right with and without technology, line of best fit, and estimate solutions off of that. Again, regressions are huge here if you've got that skill. Example there, data. This has not been one that we have done particularly well, and I'd like to see some improvement here. You can see 2022 star, the supporting data was pretty solid, but you can see the 2024 star and the sum that our results on all of those supporting teaks were not real solid. And that the readiness teak 3D was also one that we struggled with through the last 3 years. So this might be one that we need to focus a little bit on. I don't have a great reason for that. Sometimes timing, as this is in the second quarter, might be an issue. I don't know. Some of the vocabulary involved, misconceptions, what your kids will do wrong, vertical alignment with the readiness teak 3D. Whoops, sorry. We do align closely with 711B, which is determine if given the value, make one variable two-step equations and inequalities true. And 610B, determine the given value, making one variable and one-step inequations or inequalities true. It's like that also needs a repair as well. Okay. This is a big unit because there's just so many teaks in it. Again, they're all supporting, but in their own right. So 22 days on this unit. Maybe that's part of it too, as we get a little bit of fatigue because we do spend a lot of time. 4 days, of course, on the readiness. Strategies that go into it. We are suggesting a blended instruction, station rotation on November 14th. A lot of Desmos activities. Hopefully your technology is up and running for your students and you're feeling comfortable with the Desmos. Language supports quite a bit here that you can go ahead and use those sentence stems. I chose to showcase Texas Gateway here. I like Texas Gateway a lot because the instructional components are so good. And so this is working with linear inequalities, especially learning to graph them. The unit is called After School Job, and it's an earning rates, but you can skip by some of this and get right into graphing linear inequalities, which are listed here. It shows you how to turn that into basically slope-intercept form. It gives you practice, and then there's a matching activity. So again, Texas Gateway, if you're not familiar with that, is a good piece of instructional content. The instruction part of it is pretty good stuff. And so I'm just loading up the slides a little bit here too, that you can take a look at. It's actually got the graphing window here so that you can do the graphing a little bit, you know, just to play. So, whoops, let's see if I can go. I'm just curious. Okay, yeah. So anyway, it's interactive, a good piece of hands-on, allows you to play different things and for the students to learn by observation, which is always a positive. So if you aren't familiar with the Texas Gateway, it's my one that I'm really advocating that you take a look at for Unit 3-4B. Intervention and extension, we do have some extensions in November. There are not any interventions because there are no essential readiness here. So I didn't choose to put those in. Of course, this is predominant in our calendar in September, late September. No, that's not right. That's got to be fixed too. 3-4B. Okay. Sorry about a couple of years in this. And then, of course, our personnel. So I'm going to go ahead and make those corrections. Hopefully, when you see this, you don't see any of those errors. But good luck with 3-4B.